When I was 9 years old, I was a very strong swimmer. And I dove into a swimming pool and woke up in the hospital. And for 10 years after that, my life was EKGs. They couldn't figure out what was up with me. Cold water would touch me. I'd get welts, hives. I couldn't go into any water at all. I'd go straight into like a anaphylaxis, past it, and just, it's life-threatening. It was life-threatening for me. I spent my life in the water. My parents had a pool. I swam every single day. I love the water. This has been single-handedly one of the toughest things for me to handle in my life, And so you just deal with it. It's called cold urticaria. And, it was such a surprise. It happens when strong swimmers like me, I was getting my junior lifeguarding. I was a strong swimmer. All of a sudden you'll hear of strong swimmers who go out and they just, all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they've drowned. And I think when they do an autopsy, they discover that the histamine system is just completely overblown. Like it's instant onset. I've had it my whole life. I'm going to be 60 in August. And so, it's funny. It's no surprise I'm here in Vancouver because my husband said, do you want to come? Let's go do this. Let's go to Cancun. I said, no, I want to go to Vancouver. But I didn't know why I wanted to go to Vancouver. So what happened basically was after years of this, I just sort of lived with it. But, when you live with something like that, you constantly protect yourself. Like, that's what you do. Don't go near the water. Be really careful. It spills into every area of your life. So all of a sudden, we're about to go out and do this walking meditation. And I realize, even though I'm bundled up, that this is just not going to be easy, At least that was my thought. Got out there. It's cold. I'm facing the water. I start to cry. I'm feeling the welts come up. I'm feeling my nose get swollen, my throat gets swollen. I'm starting to go into full-blown anaphylaxis. And all of a sudden I just thought to myself, no, this is not going to happen. And I started to do the breathing, the real breathing, And I just started pulling it up. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm done with this. Okay, this is not my future me. It went away. It absolutely went away. In that moment, it went away. And then I started walking. And then I started dancing because I thought, oh my God, wait a minute, this isn't possible. The next thing I know, I'm down at the water's edge. Do you know the last time I was that close to cold water? Like, warm water's fine, but I'm down at the water's edge. It's kept me from doing what I love to do, from surfing. I love to surf. It's kept me from doing all of that. And I find myself down at the water's edge, and I'm like, this is amazing, right? But then, all of a sudden, you get to that silent part again, and I stopped, and I shut my eyes again, and I remembered this little girl who was on the ferry coming from, Washington to Vancouver, huddled in the bottom of the boat because she was sure she was going to die. I mean, I had just been diagnosed with this. They really didn't know what it was, but basically keep her out of the cold, okay? Keep her away from the water. And I'm like, there's this picture. It's pathetic. It's pitiful. I cuddled like this, and all of a sudden I saw her, and the next thing I knew, I just fell in love with her, and I was like, oh my God. Before I could stop this, okay, the energy went shooting up through my head, and she was literally on the top of the ferry boat there with my father, who's gone. And I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? And she just looked and she smiled, and I observed her smiling at me, and I just took a breath and blessed her and sent her off. It didn't come back this morning, and this would have been a worse morning for it because when it's a little higher in temperature and it's snowing or whatever, and the water touches me, that's when I would get high. I didn't have a hive. I could breathe. I had no issue. I said to my husband, I think it's gone. I think this is gone. 50 years of this. So it's like, okay, fine, so now what? What's next, right? That's my story.
You got a biological upgrade.
I guess I did. I believe that it's possible. I truly believe it is possible. But it was a total and complete surprise. I completely forgot about it because we're so warm and cozy in here. I completely forgot about it until we got out there, and it was like, there's a picture in my mind movie of my husband and my son and my daughter-in-love. I call her my daughter-in-love because she's wonderful. And they're all in their wetsuits. And I'm taking the picture because I couldn't go. It's in San Diego. I'm going to go next time,